What is up, Gilly Gang? Back yet again with another episode of 10 Questions with Gilly, episode number 24. And my guest beside me today is Miss Victoria Pollard, volleyball player, track and field runner here on Culver Stockton here at Culver Stockton College, and also nicknamed Toto, correct?
Yep, you got it.
And so, funny story about that one. She told me got it from a current teammate here at Culver, and just kind of stuck. So, Torie, welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm really excited to be on. Thanks for having me.
Let's get right into the questions, shall we? I mean, question number one, what is something that our listeners don't know about you?
I gotta say, big overthinker. I'm a very big, I feel like I kind of portray myself as more, confident, especially when it comes to, sports, maybe because I don't have to think as much about those. But, yeah, I'm one of those people where, I could, do something, goofy or embarrassing and everyone else will forget about it, but it'll keep me up at night for, 2 months.
So, no overthinking with sports, just everything else?
Yeah, no, exactly. Sports, you kind of, it's like an outlet. It's actually an outlet away from the overthinking a little bit. But, yeah, social interactions, I don't know, stuff like that, those haunt me sometimes.
I'm the complete opposite. I'm not going to lie to you.
Really?
All my friends know me. You guys know this is the biggest overthinker in the world, but it's all right. We kind of get to one of the more common questions here on the show. I always like to see what people want to do in their life when they get outside of college. What are some of your bucket list items?
Like a bucket list, like a dream job, or what? Just something I want to do.
Bucket list, anything. It could be a dream job, vacations, whatever. Which we have a question for that later.
Yeah. If we have a question about vacations, I'll save that one. But I'd say I think I would like to travel as a job, at least for a little bit. Maybe not forever, just because I don't want to be on the road all my life. But I definitely, while I'm young, straight out of college, I'd love to go stay in a different city for a while, or potentially go abroad for a little bit. I just think it's important to kind of get out, outside of Missouri, which I've lived there my whole life. So just see the world a little bit. That's a big one. I would say for a while, a dream job of mine was to work for a professional sports team as an athletic trainer. Recently I've kind of changed. I was in the athletic training program, or was set to be in it, but I've had some doubts about that. So I took a step back and I'm kind of just rethinking, but I still would love to work for a professional sports team in some way. Probably St. Louis Blues. I'm a big fan. So those have been my two for the longest time. But yeah, those are the main ones. And yeah, I'd say those are the biggest ones.
So yeah, so you say you want to work for a sports team, specifically the Blues, but any other, just any sports team in general you'd be willing to work for?
Yeah, for sure. I love sports. I've done them all my life. Obviously, I don't plan on playing after I'm done. But just being around the environment, there's nothing like it. Even if I'm not the one playing, just getting the opportunity to just be there is good enough for me.
I think that's a pretty common answer with sports fans. They want to work for 100%. A professional sports team, which I completely get too.
Yes, for
broadcasting
sure.
Broadcasting and everything.
Yeah.
Want to be the Cardinals guy at some point.
Absolutely.
Fingers crossed. So.
Hey, you might have a chance. You don't know.
Which we kind of already talked about this. So what are your plans for whenever you graduate from college? Whenever you do.
So lately, I know I did mention the athletic training thing, but I did recently have some second thoughts. So I just switched I've been a health science major since I've been here, and I've been a communications minor. So I'm actually I'm just turned that communications minor into a major. So I'm dual majoring. I'd love to go into maybe medical device sales, or I'd love to maybe work in hospital administration kind of. I feel health science and the communication combination, that would give me a good outlook on that field, give me kind of a good, prepare me pretty well for that. Or potentially go to ultrasound tech school. They have one in St. Louis Community College. It's a really good school. I have a lot of friends that are going through it currently, and after I would have all my prereqs for that since I already have a bachelor's, so it would only be about a year. And it's a really good job. They're really high in demand right now. So, and in addition, you do get to travel for that. Sometimes they have travel positions they pay pretty well. So definitely been thinking about that for as far as the few years after college.
So you have a lot of options here.
Yes, for sure. If you can't tell, I go a lot. I go back and forth a lot.
Yeah, there's no problem with that. I mean, I'm telling you right now, options probably the best thing out there. I mean,
Absolutely.
again, you give yourself the opportunity. You know, so you talk about travel, so you get the opportunity to possibly travel whenever you get out of here. But let's get into number 4 here. So think about your 10-year-old self. So, however that long is for you.
Yes.
What would you think your younger self would think of you now?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. I think she would think I'm really cool. Like, I don't know if that sounds a little conceited, but most people here didn't know me in middle school, obviously. But I was kind of an awkward kid. Like, I was one of the first like girls to hit their growth spurts. I was like I was a little gawky. I was a lot taller than everyone else. I had the braces. I was socially, I was also a little bit awkward. I didn't have a lot of like self-confidence. And I think now I feel like I've kind of like grown to like embrace myself, like embrace who I am, like, and like kind of embrace how I'm different from other people. I think for a long time, especially like around middle school, like, you know, you kind of want to be the same as everyone else. And I've learned that I'm much happier when I just do my own thing and I'm my own person. So I think if 10-year-old me talked to me now, I should be like, wow, like we've come such a long way. Like, this girl's pretty cool. So
I just think it's important to look back at look at how you were when you're younger and how you changed. And I think the biggest thing with college is that people do change over time.
100%.
And, people could, my family, friends, they've, all on Facebook or mom posts something, they're like, oh, gosh, this kid's changed. And people would say 100% the same thing. Like, you're going to 100% change, and, hopefully your younger self will look at you and be like, rock.
Absolutely. And no one will hype you up more than your mom's Facebook friends. Let me tell you that. Those comments, those are my biggest fans.
Shout out to all the moms out there and the mom's Facebook friends. You guys
yes.
are important. So number 5, obviously I don't know much about you. Probably not a lot of people do know a lot about you. What is something that people misunderstand about you?
That's a good one too. I would have to say, I think just kind of like my personality, like my demeanor and the way I present myself, I think I come across as a bit of an airhead. And I'm not saying that's like the furthest thing from the truth. I am a bit of an airhead sometimes. I'm a little bit in my own world. But I think people kind of see that and they think like that I'm not like maybe not the smartest, or I'm a little dumb. But like the truth is like I catch on to more than I let on. Like, I know more than I let on. Like, I'm not just like, I guess if that makes any sense. I get like good grades and stuff like that. I do well in school, and that's something that like for a while it kind of, not so much anymore, because I feel like I've gotten a little better about the whole like awareness, like ditziness thing. But I would say like that was something that used to really bother me, as people would kind of like treat me like I wasn't that smart. But no, I like to think I am. So maybe that's like something people don't like see right away.
Well, I would say you're pretty smart doing double major in college. Beyond me, but
Thank you.
That's kind of like one of the things though that people can misunderstand about some people, like judging a book by the cover.
Yes,
sort
absolutely.
Of say, and you kind of just completely told us about that. And,
yes.
And I've gotten to know you before actually like talking to you in person, but like through sports first, and like I would completely thought completely different of you, like because from your sports to outside, you're a completely different person.
Absolutely, for sure. I've also been told, and I don't see it, but who knows? I've been told like some people find me a little intimidating, which I think is crazy, because I'm like, if you talk to me, I'm probably the least scary person ever. Like I just like talking to people. I like meeting new people. So it was funny to hear like some people tell me that like before they knew me. That always kind of made me laugh.
Yeah, I kind of got that impression too a little bit, but you're great to talk to outside of sports and everything like that, and we're glad to have you part of the network too. Which,
of course, I'm so excited.
Which we got a volleyball game, which you guys will see eventually, or whenever this video drops, they'll be gone by then. But
woo.
It'll be fun though. So number 6, we got. It's the most common question. I've always got to know, what's your favorite place to eat, and why is it special to you?
100%. If anyone, I'm from the like O'Fallon, Missouri area, so maybe a lot of you guys might not know this, but there's a sushi restaurant called Sushi AI. I think there's a few of them like in the St. Louis like kind of area. I don't know if it's not like a big chain though, but there's this one like 10 minutes down the road from my house that I love to eat at, just because me and my dad we both can bond over our love of sushi. And every time I come home, like, that's our go-to place. Like, our go-to, like, hangout night is like go get some sushi and then like watch a scary movie. So I think, I mean, even if I like didn't like sushi that much, like I just think like the like memories I have with like my dad there and just getting to spend time with him, and it's like something we share. I think like that's definitely why it's my favorite place. Like it's just our spot, you know.
The little things.
Yes,
like
100%.
I mean, our last guest, you know, that was on, Luke and Brendan, they had their own specifics, and you know they broke down, which you guys haven't checked that episode out, check it out. But like I said, you know, they kind of broke down, like they had specifics, like where they went. I think Luke was the one he talked about. There was a chain back home where he's from. That there's not many of them, but it's just special because, you know, that's where he grew up.
Absolutely.
And, stuff like that. And like you thought every time you come home from college, you know, you know, same thing with my parents. I know which was, yeah, the little stuff's a little special.
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
when we're gone from home for so long.
Everyone's got their spots.
Yes. Question number 7 so a story you have in college that be one of those stories that you have to tell. You tell people, but they don't fully understand because you have to, like, it's one of those you have to be there type of moments. Do you have any of those types of stories?
Oh gosh, yes. I'll stick to like a family-friendly one.
Yeah.
But I would say definitely anyone on the Culver campus maybe has heard of it. That was here last year, but maybe not like people that don't go to Culver. So last year, like towards the end of our volleyball season, we had a weekend away trip to Benedictine. So from here, it's kind of a lengthy bus, right? It's like three and a half hours. So we're about halfway there, and all of a sudden, I was sleeping. Most of us were sleeping on this bus, and all of a sudden, we hear this like super loud like bang, and like everyone like jumps up. We're all like, "What just happened?" Like, "Oh my god!" Like, what's going on? And I mean, me personally, I just see a big like dark mass of. I didn't know what it was at first. It turns out that was a turkey. So our bus had hit a turkey, basically. A very big one at that, because the entire windshield was completely busted, like caving in. There was glass and feathers all over the floor. I mean, our bus driver was like, oh my God, like Andy, I think his name was Andy. Oh yes, Andy. Andy was our bus driver most of that year. Great guy. Shout out Andy. But yeah, he's normally pretty calm, composed. No, he was like, what just happened? We pulled off at the nearest stop, or like the next exit, which happened to be Chillicothe, Missouri, which, if you don't know, there's pretty much nothing there. So we pull off into this random McDonald's with our broken bus, like glass, turkey feathers everywhere. We get off, we figure out our next move. So we ended up spending about 3 hours in that McDonald's, or maybe 2.5, waiting for another bus to come up from Columbia, Missouri to pick us up and take the other one back. So our game against Benedictine, first of all, we're all like exhausted. We had ended up eating McDonald's before our game. And then we still had the game, and it ended up being at like 10:30 at night when it was supposed to be at like 7. So that was already like, things already weren't going the best. And then it's also Benedictine senior night. And if you don't know, Benedictine fans definitely very passionate about their teams, which I can respect that. So senior night, you know, that place was packed, and there were a ton of students, and obviously, you know, they're heckling. I mean, it was probably the loudest gym I've been in all year, and they were like following us around when we would change sides and stuff. So just, yeah, and I mean, keep in mind, it's 11 o'clock at night, so we're exhausted, we're like frazzled. They found out about the turkey, so they're making turkey noises at us. So, and then it gets better. Like you think, when you think it doesn't like get any worse, it does. We get done about 11:30. So the only place open after that is a Taco Bell. So, and they're about to close. So I mean, we pull up with 20 something girls, and we're like, hey, like, you know, we got some orders. So they don't let us come inside for whatever reason, but they're still open. So we ordered through the app. We waited there for about another hour. So we ate Taco Bell at midnight, which already wasn't probably the best idea. And then we got to our hotel because we played Park the next day, which was an hour away. So we drove an hour to our hotel, got there at 1 a.m, probably all went to bed at 2. And then we woke up again at 8 the next morning to play Park at 11. So that's just one of those stories. Like, obviously in the moment, maybe not the best, but like you just had to be there. Like, just, I don't think I've ever bonded with the team more than like during that incident. Like, I left that weekend, I felt like I just was so much closer with everyone, and it's something like I'll talk about forever. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, who else gets to say their bus got hit by a turkey? Like, you kind of had to be there for the whole thing to understand. But I'll tell you what, I got back after that weekend trip, and I thought I'd been gone for 2 weeks. I went straight to bed.
I bet. Funny thing about that, I saw like people's stories about it, and I was like, I'm actually glad that's the story because I wanted to know a little bit more about that story. I've never asked any of the girls from last year's team about that at all, but I've always been curious about that story, and that was seeing that, I'm like, man, we're already, and then the fact that you guys had to play at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
It's crazy. Benedictine fans. Kudos to you guys for finding out about that, by the way.
They did their research.
That's great fandom right there, and I like that, especially the Heart, because loves a good old Heart matchup.
Oh my gosh.
Where fans are involved.
100%. Even if they're not our fans, you gotta love when a crowd shows up. No one likes playing an empty gym, so we couldn't even be mad.
Gyms, you can't be mad about that.
No,
and, shout out to the Culver faithful. You guys are awesome too when it comes to showing up for our
Absolutely.
Games. Not just volleyball, baseball, everything.
Yes.
Awesome. Question number 8. I mean, so you currently play 2 sports here at Culver. You run track. You play volleyball. You also played many other sports growing up, probably. What has sports given to you? It could be like friendships, whatever. Like, what is something sports has given to you that whenever you say you retire from sports, that you can take away and be like, I'm happy to be retired.
Yeah, that is a great question, because honestly, what haven't sports, like, what haven't they given me? I mean, it's been a part of my life since as long as I can remember. I mean, obviously the biggest one is going to be like friendships. Majority of my friends I've met through sports, and I can't even imagine my life without them, whether it's like club volleyball, like track friends, like the friends I've met here through Culver Stockton volleyball and Culver Stockton track. Like, I know I'll talk to those girls and guys for much longer after college, which is awesome. Like, you can't put a price on that. But I feel like that's a big one for everyone. I would say one, like, for like a personal one for me, I mean, it's just given me so many life lessons. Like, I know it's hard to think about like sports, like correlating with like, your career and like the rest of your life, because you only do them for a certain amount of time, but I've learned so many things that I know I will take into like my job, into my life after college. I mean, I guess the biggest one of those lessons would be just going out of my comfort zone and like doing things that I'm afraid to do, because as corny as it sounds, like, it's hard to do things that scare you. And I mean, I've had to do that a lot of times with sports. I've had to go to tryouts by myself when I didn't know anyone else on the team. I've had to, actually, like, a really good example is this last year for track. Coach Davis, so we're about halfway through the season. It's indoor season, so it's maybe like early January. Coach Davis, our Culver Stockton track and field coach, great guy, awesome coach. I only have good things to say about him. Yes, he's awesome. He kind of mentions to me all throughout high school, I was only ever like short sprints, like 100, 200, like never anything more like that. I just wouldn't do it. Like, that was like, there was no, that was not up for debate. And, Coach Davis kind of knew that, and he like came up to me. I don't know if it was a practice. I remember he gave me a text. He's like, "Hey, like, if you want to come to practice a little bit early, like, I have an idea I'd like to talk to you about." And I was kind of like, "Oh goodness, like, I don't know how to feel about that." So I get there, and he mentions, he's like, "How would you feel about like trying out the 400?" And obviously 400, in my opinion, is probably the hardest event in track, just because of like, it's so awkward. You can't, obviously you don't jog it, but you kind of got to sprint the whole thing. It hurts. And I'd known that, and at first I was like, I don't know, coach, like, I don't even know if you want me running the 400. My endurance isn't the best. I have no idea how to do it. And he's like, no, like, I really think you'd be good at it. Like, just, like, all I'm asking is that you give it a try, and if you just absolutely hate it, like, we won't make you do it again. But he thought I'd be good at it, and I'm like, well, he's pretty convincing, so I agreed to it. I agreed to do it at an indoor meet, so I did it that weekend for our, like, a distance medley relay. We ended up breaking the school record at that relay. That was us running alone. And it wasn't the worst thing ever. Like, it definitely hurt and it was different, but I managed and I felt pretty good after it. And then fast forward to conference a few weeks later, and we ended up getting on the podium for that DMed and once again breaking the school record. And so, like, getting on the podium, like, we got third, so we got like a medal, which, and like the Heart, it's crazy hard to do. I mean, there's so many good teams and so many good runners. I mean, if you would have told me that a month before, I wouldn't have dreamed of that. And so just, I guess that was a big lesson of like, had I just shut him down and been like, no, I'm not doing the 400 at all, I would have never even gotten a chance to be a part of that team. And be a part of something like that cool. Like that was one of the best track experiences I've ever had. So I guess one of if not the biggest takeaway from sports is to do things I'm scared to do and to try new things, go out of my comfort zone. That's a really important lesson, and I know I'll use that for the rest of my life.
So a follow-up question, are you still doing that event in track this year?
I am. I ran my first, so I only did relay 400s last year for indoor and outdoor. This year I did my first open 400 and stuff like that. That was a whole new kind of scariness because you don't even have a team with you. You're just doing that alone. So I've done that one a few times now. You know, I'm my time's going down as I keep doing it. So I'm still doing it, still part of the 4x4, still part of the DMET, and I love it. Like I look back and I'm really glad I did it. Because I mean, it gives me just another event to try and be competitive in. Just something new to try. And yeah, it's really cool to think that I would have never even touched that like a few years ago, and like to see where I'm at now it's cool.
Well, congrats.
Thank you.
We'll be looking for you. I mean, looking for all the stats all year long. We'll be
100%.
Got to keep up with all our folks that are part of the network too.
Yes.
Question number 9. So we've all failed in life, right? You know, we've had 20 failures.
Oh yeah.
Probably more than we can count on our own hands. So through an experience of failure or success, what did you take from it, and how did you learn from either the failure or success?
Yeah.
One or the other.
I mean, kind of like relating to the last question, another big lesson I took was failure. Like, does it suck? Yeah, no one likes to lose, but I've learned way more from my failures than I have my successes. And I mean, I'm not afraid to say like I failed a lot more times than I've succeeded. I've been on a lot of losing teams, and I mean, just in high school and club, like, you know, like it's hard. Like I you know, it's not easy. Like losing sucks, failing sucks. I mean, even as a team, and then like personally, it's definitely very mentally like draining. But I mean, it just teaches you so much. It teaches you how to deal with that failure, how to get back up when you've been knocked down. I mean, there were a lot of times where I could have been like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like it's too hard. I can't do it. But I kept pushing, and like that kind of perseverance, you know, I mean, that's something you only get when you fail. I mean, if you talk to someone who's just never failed in their life, I mean, everyone's going to fail at some point. And
you probably can't find a person that's
never.
That's never not failed.
Yeah, and so I think it's better to fail more, and it's better to fail like early on in life to learn how to deal with it. And I'm glad that I've had people in my life, like my family, my teammates, to kind of like to not let me give up, and coaches too, to not let me give up even though like I want to not let me like get frustrated and just like throw my hands up and call it quits. Like, no, they're like, hey, like, yes, it's hard right now, but you got to keep going or you're going to regret it. Like, so, I mean, so that sounded really ominous. I'm like, I'm going to personally regret if I do quit. Like, so yeah, definitely. I've just learned a lot from like all my failures. Is there like a specific one, or is that kind of?
No, I mean, you answered it great. I mean, I was going to ask, I mean, like through your failures, I mean, like, so you talk about losing and stuff like, I guarantee, I was going to ask, well, does that help your composure through that? I mean, because I know there's a lot of people are, you know, that when they lose, they're bad losers, you know, that stuff like that.
Yes.
Like, I mean, could you say that your composure through your failures has helped you in life?
Absolutely, 100%, because I know how to handle losing. I don't, you know, I mean, is it frustrating? Yes, but I just don't think there's ever a reason. I mean, you see certain like people who don't handle it well, and they kind of throw a hissy fit when they lose or when things don't go their way, and I just don't think there's a reason to do that. Like, I think that shows that they don't know how to handle failure, or they don't know how to handle like setbacks. So I think like just taking my experiences from losing, I guess no one wants to be a sore loser, you know? Yeah. I mean, and like, again, it's going to happen more than once. So, I mean, if I threw a hissy fit every time something didn't go my way or every time I lost, like, I'm not going to be a very happy person. So, yes, it's definitely helped with, like, my composure, keeping my cool, like, I mean, and, like, when it comes to, like, volleyball, I mean, I'm an upperclassman now. Like, that's really important to have composure because, like it or not, like, younger girls are looking at upperclassmen to see how they handle when things don't go their way. And so it's important to set, like, a good example for that.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say with being, you talk about being upperclassmen, being the composure, being kind of like, I wouldn't say a fatherly, motherly figure, but you know, you can be relied on by people if they have questions or if
absolutely
they, you know, that sort of thing. And obviously, you know, when we're young, we want to fail as much as possible because, like you talked about, from your mistakes, you learn from them, and it makes you better as a person as we go along. And obviously, going back to one of the previous questions, how you look at yourself when you're from now, or your younger self until now, you know, you answered those great with makes perfect sense. Let's number 10, the final question. Let's have a little fun one here. So,
All right.
you go on a vacation, all expenses paid for. Doesn't matter how much it costs.
Ooh.
Where are you going? If you're bringing anybody, who is it? And whenever you get there, what are you doing? I mean, it's all expenses, free reigns, it's all yours.
So I guess in general, all expenses paid. I'd love to go like just all around Europe. Just actually Europe or maybe Asia. I don't know. Like definitely to a different continent. I don't want to stay in the U.S. You know, I've been to quite a few states. Like, you know, I feel like I've seen kind of all there is to see there. I want to go like somewhere I will like never go again. Like, so somewhere maybe like Japan would be really cool, or like Europe. But like I have like one place in mind that I've always wanted to go. It's going to be a weird one. I don't think a lot of people want to go here. And I mean, with the current climate over there, I probably won't be able to for a while, but I've always wanted to go to St. Basil's Cathedral in Russia. And if you don't know what that is, it's the one. You've seen it before in a picture. Like, it's this cathedral. It's the one with the really colorful domes, like, on top, kind of.
There's probably
like,
a chance I've seen it.
Yeah, if you saw a picture, anyone listening to this, you can look up St. Basil's Cathedral. You'll know, like, immediately what I'm talking about. I'm a bit of a geek for architecture. I love, like, just looking at that stuff and just, like, imagining, like, how much work went into it. I mean, it's hundreds of years old, so, I mean, seeing some of these like really impressive buildings that were built with like without even the technology we have now, I think that's something really cool. So I mean, that's someplace I've always wanted to go. And I am religious, so I do like to like get a chance to look at any cool like religious architecture anywhere I go. But that's definitely like number one, which is every time I tell someone that, they're a little bit like, oh, really? Okay, like interesting.
No, I mean, again, like it's a place you want to go to. You want to see, which, you know, architecture. Another great thing, you know, like with cathedrals and those types of buildings, the architecture is beautiful.
Yeah.
I took a class here at Culver. It was a history class over the English language, and we looked at many different pictures of old buildings. It was pretty cool.
Yes.
But so, is there anything else you'd like to do there while you're in Russia? Or you haven't really thought that far into it yet?
I mean, just probably because I know I probably won't be able to go. I guess I haven't looked into everything. So St. Basil's is located in like a place called Red Square. So it's not the only thing around. There's like a bunch of other like cool, like, I don't want to say attractions, but like just other cool like sightseeing things like that. So I mean, obviously I would go to those as well. And if I was just in Europe, I mean, I'd love to just go to like a bunch of different countries. I mean, I know. This one's a little more basic, but like I know Spain, everyone I hear that's been there, they talk about, like, they go on and on about how cool it is, and that's just somewhere like I want to be able to say I've been. I'd say, what are some of the other ones? Just honestly, really any like European. I've been to Europe once before, but it was like London and then Austria, so kind of like just anywhere but there, just because I've already been there. Like, I feel like each country has something cool and unique to offer, like whether that's food or like culture. I feel like I'm a bit of a sponge. Like, I love just experiencing new things and learning new things, and the people over there are really nice too. And I mean, this is gonna be weirdly specific. It's very clean over there. Like, I mean, at least in the areas I've been, like, I never once saw like any trash on the ground or like junk, like anything like that. Yes, exactly. So that was such a culture shock, because I'm like where's like this is like unnaturally clean, but it was great. I mean, I wish like more cities here could be like that, or just places, not even like just anywhere. So that was something cool to see too. But definitely tour of Europe with, I mean, I probably bring my family, like that's a basic one, but family or friends, just be a cool experience to do.
So you talked about Spain. Are you going on the Spain trip next year?
I am not. I can't. I trips are hard because I'm in season one way or the other, and so it's hard for me to be able to go on those without missing it. I did go on a little bit of a travel trip. It was a bit shorter, but I went on our Boca Raton trip, if you know anything about that.
Yes.
Yeah, so we got to work the Bush's Boca Raton bowl of baked beans. It took me the entire trip to learn how to say that. It's the 5 B's. But that was a really cool experience. It was kind of like a little more of like a mini trip. It was like 6 days. It's a little more non-committal. I mean, for like some people, like traveling's hard, or like if you don't have as much time. And the weather was beautiful. I mean, we got to see a lot of cool stuff. So I mean, that was a fun one. But I do wish I was going on that Spain one. That would be a lot of fun. But I don't know. I just don't know if that's in the.
I saw the pictures from the Boca Raton trip. We were actually a couple of guys that were just at lunch today. We were talking about it actually a little bit. You guys got to go see like the TGL and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, lucky.
Yes.
Me being a big golf fan, I've watched the indoor golf league.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you would have liked it. It was a really cool facility. We did actually a lot of the stuff we did on the trip was like completely like last minute plan. Like that TGL thing, I think they came up with that 2 days before. But like I don't even watch golf, and I thought that was really cool. It was just very like different.
Well, yeah, it's an indoor golf stadium.
Yeah.
Which is, I thought it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So Torie, I mean, I'm wrapping up the show here. I'd like to say thank you for your time and willingness to come on. You know, obviously we're both busy right now. We're in season, and
Yes.
it's kind of tough to find time, which I'm glad we were able to work this out. But with everyone that being said, I hope you guys have made it to this point in the video. If you have, please drop a like, comment, subscribe. Anything helps.
Yes.
I want to get these out there, posting more and more videos every week. Planning to drop a 10 question video every week, and maybe a vlog or two here and there with baseball coming up. And if not, you're missing out on the content. Just gonna be honest with you.
100%.
I know she's a Gilly Gang member.
Yeah.
I'm part of the Gilly Gang, and many others part of the Gilly Gang. But please subscribe and tune in every week for another great episode like this and more good ones to come. Next guest, you guys are not gonna want to miss it. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.